Hey everybody, I'm Master Gardener Bernie DeLaNay, professional gardener, a whole bunch of other titles. And we're standing in front of one of, these are old raised beds. Now he's going to point the camera down. There's a couple of pepper plants in here. There's a kind of a nice, I grew all of these. And you might see the weed, yeah, it's kind of thundering in the background, so we got to hurry up and do this. But you might see the weeds. Let's take a look. This was a raised bed that I put in well over 10 years ago with weed fabric, okay? Weed fabric is this black stuff right here. Some people call it weed filter. This is what it looks like, okay? And all of that grew through. There's some wild strawberries in there. I'm gonna redo them again. But after so many years, what happens is the weeds will go through. There's some crabgrass in here. There's wild strawberries in here, and just some regular, they're called prairie plants, okay? They grow wild. Sometimes you'll get wild roses. Sometimes you'll get alfalfa, shortcut wheat, maybe, possibly. You'll get all, clover, mint, all kinds of stuff. And it doesn't really matter because what I have in here is the hole goes straight down. Let's point down again. Let's go right down. These are green bell pepper plants, and they're nice. And right over here, if we can get a shot of this, is a tomato plant that I put in a couple days ago. Now, the reason we didn't do this before was because, and I want this guy to, most of this plant, I want this guy to straighten out, but most of this plant is buried down into the ground. And when you bury this stuff, what happens is you have to bury them about this deep, okay? That's what I did is I took a post hole digger and I went straight down into here. And I can't show you doing that because it's been raining like crazy. It's been doing a lot of stuff. And what happens is the roots will grow into the soil. Now in here, right here, what you see, this is ordinary garden soil with vermiculite and perlite. And the vermiculite, can you get a close-up of that? Okay. What that is stuff that's added to the soil. And I have bags of vermiculite and perlite, and what they do is they hold on to the moisture. I'm going to move back here. They hold on to, and these are old tomato plants, but I gotta have, let's show the little fence down there. I gotta have stuff around here because we have so many animals coming up through the yard and the property that everything in sight will be eaten. It'll be eaten by deer, it'll be eaten by raccoons, it'll be eaten by voles and moles and mice, anything, squirrels, little birds that fly through there that looking for insects that are maybe in the soil. Anything and everything, even good-sized garden snakes and pine snakes. We don't have any poisonous snakes around here, but the pine snakes, they are suffocators. Okay, let's keep the camera pointed down. Let's point it down. All right, now, what you see is an old raised bed. This is old, okay? See all this stuff in here? This is stuff that grew after so many years of being a raised bed. I bet everybody can hear the thunder in the background, so we're gonna try to do this in a hurry. But what I will do is I'll take all these bricks out of here, which I purchased many years ago. This raised bed is about 10 years old, and I haven't had a chance to redo it simply because it's been raining just like crazy. I haven't even been able to keep up with the mowing simply because it's been wet. It's been raining, and what you do is you take, I have these planted in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these bricks out of here, which have been in place for a long time. You can see some of the stuff down in here. That's weed fabric. Some people call it weed filter. You can pull the weeds out all you want on top, but that's not going to do you any good. What's going to do you some good is to move all of these, put your weed fabric, spread it out over, and you can even cut a slit and go around this so that it goes from one side to side or end to end. At the end of the summer, weed fabric or weed filter, as people call it, I'll put these back for right now. Weed fabric is just something that keeps the weeds down. And as you can see, it's not working anymore. That's why you see landscaping companies. It's coming. That's why you see landscaping companies that will do some weed fabric on the same gardening beds every single year, because it doesn't work. Now, one of the things that you want to do is you want to get this stuff mixed in here, okay? This is decayed garden soil, okay? That's what it looks like. And yeah, I have the vermiculite and the perlite mixed in there. And what happens is when it gets really, really hot outside, the plants tend to dry up. They use all the moisture, okay? If you have the vermiculite and the perlite in there, it takes the soil and it releases it even through a drought. That's what that stuff does. That's why you see your plants all full of that. Some of these plants, not the peppers, because their root system isn't quite as far down as the tomatoes, but this particular tomato right here, now you wouldn't believe, I started this from seed. You're not going to believe how deep that root goes. It goes down about 2 feet. And what's going to happen is this whole thing, and this is even grown within the last couple of days. I planted it about a week ago, and I didn't have any covering over it because we haven't had a frost for a long time. If we do get some, I'll cover it over either with a blanket, or I have a trick I do with milk cartons where I cover them over. And these plants have been hardened off properly, okay? Now, one of the things that people don't understand is when you start something from seed, you have to harden it off. That's a technical term. That's a real gardening term. It's a botanical term. I started it from seed. I grew them underneath lights. And then, I think it was the second week of May. It was before Memorial Day, in other words. I had to keep them outside in a covered place so that these plants can go through the hardening off period. And what that means is the plants have to have a cell structure change. They have to go from being able to stay outside versus staying inside. Because outside, they get the natural rising of the sun, the setting of the sun, the winds blowing by, the natural nitrogen, that's from the rain, the dew, the frost, the moisture, the everything. And every plant that you see will follow the sun. Now, there's a vine that grows here in Wisconsin. It's called the Wisconsin moonflower. Okay, that's the actual name of it. It's a vine. It's a vining plant, and it's why I got them all over the place. I have them growing on fences and things. And what they will do is the flowers will actually turn towards the sun. They'll go like this. Sun rises here in Wisconsin. It rises in the east and sets in the west. Well, in different parts of the world, the sun doesn't rise in the east and set in the west. It's just the opposite. But here, right here in Wisconsin, now we have to pick up my leaf fabric here. You will see that plants will follow the sun, and the reason that the Wisconsin moonflower, which is a vining flower, it's a white flower, is called the moonflower is because they typically don't close with the sun that goes down. There's dusk and there's dawn. They don't close at dusk. They on a bright moonlit night, these flowers will open up. That's why they're called the moonflower, and they are original to Wisconsin. It's getting darker. It's just about starting to rain. We're going to do as much as we can here. We're going to hold out as long as we can. All right, so this is going to be covered over the next time you see this. And yes, folks, you did see these plants when I was doing all the little gardening. Is going to take another shot of it here. Go ahead, take another shot of it. Here's another one that's planted. If you can get this one right down here, it's planted real deep. And if you can see this, these are wild strawberries. Now, I used to have a great big huge strawberry bed. I haven't done those for a while. They're a lot of work. You can take and you can transplant these. You can pull them out. You can transplant them. I don't know if that one will come out. Let me grab my. if you want to start a strawberry bed, here. Now, this is digging into the weed fabric, though. You gotta remember that. I don't want any more, any more holes in here. This is a wild strawberry. Let's see if that comes out. There we go. You can actually plant this. Okay, oops, there's part of that came down. This is crabgrass. You don't want that. But you can actually plant this. You got little tiny strawberries on it. Oh boy, here we go. You can actually plant this in a strawberry bed and you will actually get strawberries. Folks, we're going to end this. We're going to go to pause because it's raining.